Welcome to Building a Million, empowering you to construct your financial future brick by brick. Hey there, builder. Welcome back to another awesome video. If you're new here, we're all about celebrating entrepreneurs, especially the ones who change the world in amazing ways. And today, we've got a special one for you. We're diving into the life of one of the most legendary names in tech and business, Bill Gates. You might know him as the guy behind Microsoft, but there's a lot more to his story than just computers. Bill helped launch Microsoft back in 1975 with his childhood friend Paul Allen. Their big dream? To make Microsoft the biggest PC software company in the world. And spoiler alert, they totally did it. But Bill's not just a tech genius. He's also a best-selling author, a powerful public speaker, a global philanthropist, and believe it or not, a college dropout. Yep, that's why today we're counting down 15 surprising facts you probably didn't know about Bill Gates. Number 1, he's been the richest man in the world for 17 years. Let's kick things off with some serious cash talk. Bill Gates didn't just get rich, he became legendary rich. For a total of 17 years, on and off, he held the title of the richest person on the planet, according to Forbes. That's almost 2 decades of being on top of the money mountain. As of 2017, he was still the richest man alive, although a few names like Spanish billionaire Amancio Ortega have gotten close. But here's something crazy. When Bill was just a teenager, he told his friends he wanted to become a millionaire by the time he turned 30. Guess what? He missed that goal in the best way possible. He didn't just become a millionaire. He became a billionaire at 31. Number 2, he's given away more money than most people will ever see. You'd think someone that rich would just sit back and enjoy life, right? But not Bill. Instead of hoarding his billions, he's become one of the most generous human beings on earth. Through the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, the charity he runs with his ex-wife, he's donated over $27 billion so far. And he's not stopping there. Bill has promised to give away 95% of his entire fortune during his lifetime. That's right, 95%. He's using his money to fight disease, improve education, and help people all over the world live better lives. That kind of giving doesn't just make him wealthy, it makes him truly legendary. Number 3, he wrote his first computer program at just 13 years old, and it was a game. Let's rewind to when Bill Gates was just a kid in school. 13 years old, wearing glasses and already obsessed with computers. He went to a private school called Lakeside Prep, and the school had one big, super expensive computer made by General Electric. Most kids would have just played around on it, but not Bill. He actually learned how to code and created a digital version of the classic game Tic-Tac-Toe. Yep, the same one you play with XS and OS. That little project was the spark that started it all. He got so good at coding that the school trusted him with a huge task, writing the software that scheduled students' classes. But guess what? Young Bill got a little sneaky. He secretly adjusted the code to place himself in classes with the most girls. Genius move? Maybe. Fair? Let's just say he was very strategic. And even though he dropped out of college later on, Bill was actually super smart. His SAT score? A mind-blowing 1590 out of 1,600. That's just one question away from perfect. Number 4, he bought Leonardo da Vinci's notebook for $31 million, then shared it with the world. In 1994, Bill Gates did something totally unexpected. He spent $31 million at an auction to buy a super rare notebook filled with handwritten notes and sketches by none other than Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, the guy who painted the Mona Lisa and designed flying machines 500 years before planes existed. The notebook is called the Codex Leicester, and it gives us an incredible peek into the mind of one of history's greatest geniuses. But here's the coolest part. Instead of hiding in the vault, Bill had all the pages scanned into digital files and published them online for free. Anyone in the world can now explore Da Vinci's ideas, drawings, and genius, all thanks to Gates. He even turned some of the pages into Windows wallpapers and screensavers. Since then, the notebook has gone on tour and been displayed in museums all over the globe. Number 5. In the early days of Microsoft, Bill checked every single line of code. When Microsoft first started, it wasn't some giant tech company with thousands of employees. It was just a tiny startup with a big dream, working out of a little house in Bellevue, Washington. And get this, for the first 5 years, Bill Gates personally read every line of code the company produced. If something was wrong, he fixed it himself. That's like if the boss of a restaurant cooked every dish and washed every plate to make sure it was perfect. That's how committed he was. He wasn't just the face of Microsoft, he was the brains behind the machine. It's wild to think that about 20 years later, another tech legend, Jeff Bezos, started Amazon in the very same town. Must be something magical in the water out there in Bellevue. Number 6. Even though he's worth over $80 billion, he's only giving his kids $10 million each. You might think that if your dad was worth more than $80 billion, you'd never have to work a day in your life, right? Well, not if your dad is Bill Gates. Instead of splitting his massive fortune equally among his 3 kids, Bill decided to give each of them just $10 million, which is still a lot. But compared to what he has, it's just a tiny slice of the pie. Why? Because he believes that leaving his children too much money isn't doing them any favors. He wants them to build their own lives and careers, not live off his bank account. It's a bold move, but one that shows his values. In fact, if Bill Gates were his own country, he'd be the 63rd richest country in the world, richer than North Korea by 4 or 5 times. That's how big his fortune is. And yet, he's choosing to give most of it away. Now that's next level generosity. Number 7. When Steve Jobs was dying, Bill Gates wrote him a letter, and Jobs kept it by his bed. Everyone loves a good rivalry, right? Well, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were 2 of the most famous tech rivals in the world. They competed for years, Apple versus Microsoft, and the media loved painting them as enemies. But behind the scenes, it wasn't all drama. They actually had a deep respect for each other, and even spent a lot of personal time together, especially in the final years of Jobs' life. When Steve was battling cancer, Bill wrote him a heartfelt letter. It wasn't about business. It wasn't about who won. It was just one man saying goodbye to another. Jobs was so touched that he kept that letter next to his bed until he passed away. Later, Gates said there was no need for any final peace talks because they were never truly at war. He said, "We made great products and the competition made us both better." And about those old rumors that Bill stole Microsoft's ideas from Apple, Bill once made a clever joke about it. "It's like we both had a rich neighbor named Xerox. I broke into his house to steal the TV. But I found out Steve had already taken it." Classic Gates humor. Number 8. He was knighted by the Queen, but can't be called Sir Bill. In 2005, something pretty cool happened. Queen Elizabeth II gave Bill Gates an honorary knighthood for all of his global work in science, technology, and charity. And yes, that means he actually got to hang out with the Queen herself. According to reports, they even chatted a bit about computers. Imagine explaining Windows to the Queen, but here's the twist. Because Bill is American, he can't actually use the title Sir in front of his name. That honor is reserved only for British citizens. Still, he gets to use the fancy letters KB after his name, which stand for Knight Commander of the British Empire. Not too shabby, right? It's like getting a superhero badge for making the world a better place, just with a bit more royal sparkle. Number 9. He's offering $100,000 to anyone who can invent a better condom. Okay, this one might sound funny at first, but it's actually a serious mission. Bill Gates has promised a $100,000 prize to any scientist or inventor who can create a next-generation condom. But here's the catch. It has to significantly improve pleasure so more people actually want to use it. Why? Because one of the main goals of the Gates Foundation is to improve global health care, and that includes stopping the spread of STIs and unwanted pregnancies. A better condom that people actually like could protect millions of lives. And this is just one part of Gates' bigger goal. He wants to see a world with no more poor countries by the year 2035. Yep, he's not just trying to fix problems. He's trying to end them completely. Number 10. He rented out an entire hotel and all the helicopters for his wedding. When Bill Gates got married to Melinda French, he went all out, and we mean all out. The wedding took place in beautiful Hawaii. And to make sure their big day stayed 100% private, Bill rented every hotel room in the entire resort. But he didn't stop there. He also booked every helicopter on the island so that no one could fly overhead and snap secret photos. That's billionaire-level privacy right there. The wedding was elegant, classy, and totally hidden from the press. It shows that even with all his fame, Bill values peace and quiet when it comes to his personal life. And hey, if you got the money and want to keep your wedding paparazzi free, why not just rent the whole island? Number 11. Bill Gates' house is like something out of a sci-fi movie. Okay, imagine walking into a house that knows exactly how you like things. We're talking lights, music, temperature, even the artwork on the walls, all changing just for you. That's exactly what happens when you step into Bill Gates' epic Washington mansion, nicknamed Xanadu 2.0. It's not just a smart home, it's genius-level smart. When guests arrive, they get a special high-tech pin to wear. That pin connects to the house's operating system and automatically adjusts everything to the guest's personal preferences. Want jazz music in the hallway and warm lighting in the kitchen? Done. Want the art on the walls to match your mood? One button and boom, it changes. And if that's not wild enough, yes, there's even a trampoline room. A full-on, pro-level trampoline room. But all this luxury doesn't come cheap. Gates pays over $1 million a year in property taxes alone. That's more than most people's dream homes cost. Now that is next-level living. Number 12. His taxes are so massive, the IRS had to bring in a special computer. So, here's something that'll blow your mind. When it's time for Bill Gates to do his taxes, the regular systems used by the IRS can't even handle it. Yep, too many zeros. In 2006, the IRS actually had to use a special computer system just to process his tax return, because a normal one couldn't keep up. That's how complex and huge his finances are. Think about it. We're talking about billions of dollars, hundreds of investments, multiple income streams, and countless donations to track. And while no one's quite sure what operating system that secret IRS supercomputer runs on, we all hope it's Windows and not Linux, because come on, that would be awkward. This fun fact doesn't just show how rich Gates is, it also reminds us how complicated the life of a billionaire can be behind the scenes. Even paying taxes becomes a mission for a machine. Number 13, that old Outlook profile icon? Yep, it's based on Bill Gates' mugshot. You know, that little gray silhouette icon that used to pop up when someone didn't have a profile photo on Microsoft Outlook 2010? Believe it or not, it was inspired by Bill Gates' real-life mugshot from back in 1977. At age 21, Gates got pulled over in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for speeding and driving without a license. But here's the kicker. When they booked him and snapped a photo, he smiled. Like, full-on Chisen. He wasn't mad or scared. He was just chill. Later on, that iconic outline of his head and shoulders from that mugshot quietly became the base for Microsoft's profile placeholder image. So, the next time you see that little gray figure, just remember, it all started with a young tech nerd who broke the speed limit, smiled for his mugshot, paid his bail on the spot, and went on to build a tech empire. Talk about turning a small mistake into a strange piece of tech history. Number 14, in 1998, Bill Gates was making $1 million every single hour. Yep, you heard that right, $1 million every hour. That's like earning $300 every second just by being Bill Gates. Imagine dropping a $1,000 bill and not bothering to pick it up because by the time you bent down, you'd already made more money. That's where the joke comes from. But here's the thing. Bill Gates wasn't that kind of guy. Even with all that money flowing in, he flew coach on airplanes until 1997, when he was already worth $36 billion. He wasn't flashy or obsessed with luxury. For him, it wasn't about showing off, it was about building something bigger than himself. While most people would have been busy buying yachts and gold-plated everything, Gates was focused on innovation, efficiency, and yes, even saving the world. Because when you're making that much, what matters most is how you use it. And Bill had some very big ideas. Number 15, he actually patented a machine to control the weather. This one sounds like it's straight out of a superhero movie, but it's real. Bill Gates funded and patented a weather-controlling machine, not for stopping the rain during his beach days, but to weaken hurricanes. The idea is to pump cold water into the ocean, cooling it down just enough to disrupt the storm before it gets out of hand. Crazy, right? But that's not all. Gates also backed a wild project that turns poop into clean drinking water. No joke. It's called the Omni Processor, and it's already helping people in places where clean water is hard to find. His passion isn't just in tech, it's in solving real-world problems. He's not sitting back and counting his billions. He's out here literally trying to stop natural disasters and bring clean water to the world, one machine at a time. Who knew billionaires could be inventors and planet savers? The legacy. Gates has saved millions of lives, and he's not slowing down. Bill Gates isn't just a tech legend, he's a real-life hero. With his foundation, he's helped save an estimated 5 million lives by funding vaccines in the poorest parts of the world. That's not a stat, that's a legacy. And remember how he said he's giving 95% of his wealth away instead of passing it all to his kids? That's not just generous, it's historic. He promised to do it, and he's actually doing it. No other billionaire on earth has made a move like that. And get this, when someone asked him what's left on his bucket list, he said, "Not to die." That's classic Bill. Always focus on the future. And finally, a little something just for you, Builder. Thanks for hanging out with us and diving deep into the life of a man who went from teenage computer geek to one of the most influential people on the planet. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more stories that'll blow your mind and maybe even change how you think about success. Got a dream? Go chase it. Got a story? Come share it with us. This is a place for builders, thinkers, and doers, and we want you to be part of it. Until next time, keep building, keep believing, and remember, you don't need billions to make a difference, just the guts to start. See you next time